Okay, well, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Carrie Hepburn Malcolm, Vice President, Sales and Service of the Trinidad and Tobago Unit Trust Corporation, aka the Urpreneur host. And so, man, we called for all entrepreneurs, and did we get an overwhelming response? We thank you so much. So, today, of course, you will be learning how to set up a Facebook store in TNT in Trinidad and Tobago. And of course, we have none other than Mr. Keron Rose. I know many of you would know Keron. He's been doing the circuit of late on LinkedIn and YouTube and Instagram, and he's known from Droid Island. So without further ado, I will hand over to Keron to tell us more about how to do this. So, Keron, over to you.
Carrie Ann, thank you for having me. It is an absolute pleasure to be conducting this workshop with you guys tonight. Listen, I want to thank all of you for tuning in because without you guys, this would not be possible. Since the beginning of the pandemic, people have been trying to figure out how to take their business online and how can they supplement their income. Their physical stores are closed, and if you're in Trinidad and Tobago right now, you know that there's a state of emergency. With this curfew, all of our businesses are closed. People have no idea where to go. And if you have not set up a website as yet with e-commerce integration so that you could take payments online and you could still conduct business, then you would have been in a pretty big jam. So this workshop is for all of you who are ready to get back to selling and taking your business online. And if you do not have a website, then I'm going to show you tonight how we can create a Facebook store and upload our products, create our products, put our services on Facebook and sell using Facebook, and also how to integrate a service provider that will allow you to take payments so that people, when they see your products, they can check out and pay with their credit cards. You would receive those orders, and then you can go and send out your products through any of the couriers of your choice. So without further ado, tonight's workshop, how to set up a Facebook store in TNT. If you guys are ready to get started, let me know in the chats. Tell me, yes, you're ready. You're ready to get started. Let me know. How this works is you guys give me energy, I receive it, I give it right back to you guys. I don't know if you guys can drop some flames in the chat. What if you can drop some flames? Drop some flames. Let me know. Let me know that you guys are ready, all right? I see everybody coming out and saying I'm ready. Perfect. Man, we got 260 people inside the Zoom webinar and counting. And we're also live on Facebook and YouTube. So you know what that means. Please share the broadcast. Or somebody in your network that needs this information. You could literally be saving a life because somebody will be able to sell online, earn money to bring into their household and get back to putting food on the table. All right. So please share the broadcast if you are on Facebook. All right. And we're live on the Unitrust Facebook platform. And if you haven't already liked Unitrust's platform, please give them a subscribe or subscribe on YouTube. So let's get started. So I just want to give you guys 5 quick things about me. If this is the first time you guys have tuned in or even heard my name or seen me, I'm going to give you guys 5 fun facts about me. So number 1, I was born in Trinidad and Tobago. I moved to Toronto when I was 2 weeks old. My mom said, nah, you ain't getting none of this Caribbean sun. Come take some Canadian cold winter. And I've been freezing in Toronto for 29 years until I made the trek to come back home in Trinidad and Tobago, and I've been having so much fun ever since. I moved back to Trinidad in October 2013, and for me, I really wanted a change of pace. A lot of my friends were moving to places like China, Korea, the US, more opportunities in bigger markets. Because I'm a dual citizen, I said, let me dust off my Trinidad passport. Let me come back. Let me drink some coconut water, eat a little bacon, so I can relax, and let's see what happens. My two favorite jobs that have shaped so much of what I do as a tech blogger and entrepreneur is working at a telecommunications company in Canada called TELUS. So they're like the equivalent to Digicel or B Mobile. And also Apple. Apple has been the job that has really shaped how I create content and always putting education first so that the more you guys know about how to use these platforms, the more you guys are going to be able to become self-efficient and be able to do your own business without having to rely on anybody, okay? One of my favorite things about living in Trinidad and Tobago is not having to deal with snow. Listen, I have back problems from shoveling so much snow. So glad I don't have to do that again. And most importantly, one of the biggest changes for me mentally when I moved to Trinidad has been getting the confidence to be a Black entrepreneur, not having to hide behind a logo. I can literally be here and have fun, all right? And I don't need to hide behind a logo. So that's been huge for me. The benefits to a Facebook store. So why are we here? Why on earth are we going to set up a Facebook store? You know, people could just, I know you're probably thinking, well, I've been fine with people just DMing me for price, DMing me for products. Listen, if you are a consumer, you see the words, you see that phrase, DM me for price, DM me for what we have in stock. Listen, it's 2021. We need to cut that up, okay? We need to stop that. It's time we up level and we start to build a more professional brand that will allow us to create a better shopping experience for our customers. So the big benefit to having a Facebook store is to create a professional shop for your products. You will be able to organize your products and services for ease of shopping. And I'm going to show you one of the major don'ts, one of the no-nos that kind of relates to that in a slide in a bit. You're going to be able to, oh my God, display prices, folks. Oh my goodness. How many times have you gone to a service provider, a business, and they lost your sale because they put this beautiful picture of a product and there was no price? How many times have you just said, you know what? They didn't put no price. I ain't DMing. They're just going to have to lose out on that sale. I know that's happened to many of you. So you're going to be able to display your prices, put product descriptions, and you're going to be able to have multiple pictures of your products as well. And one of my favorite things about having a Facebook store is you're going to be able to create a catalog and organize your products by brand. So you can either separate it by brand, you could separate it by the type of product. There's just going to be some organization within your Facebook store. So as I said before, this is one of the biggest no-nos for selling on Facebook. And if you have water in your mouth, you're drinking something, please hurry up and swallow. I know you're going to see it and you might just spit everything out on your phone or on your computer when you see this. This is the biggest no-no for selling on Facebook. You guys ready? Oh my goodness. Listen to me. When a brand, let me know in the comments if you have seen this. When a brand makes a post, they post a picture and then they put every single option for their product in the caption. This was like, I had to take 3 separate screenshots to get all of this data onto one slide. So the minute you hit, and they even tell you, for the full price listing, click see more to continue reading. And then bam, this humongous laundry list of prices and products just hits you in the face. How many times have you guys seen that? Let me know in the chats. What goes through your mind when you go to a business and you want to purchase a product and you want to see the price? And I mean, this is probably just as bad as DM for price, because you have 100 products listed here and there's no telling what is in stock and what is out of stock. And then you have to squint and hurt your eyes just to see the prices. It is confusing. It is overwhelming. I would probably quicker DM somebody for price, than to read this laundry list of prices. Let me know in the chat how you guys feel about seeing that when you go to brands. I see Candace Barrow said, my first thought is next. Candace Lively says, hi, Lisa. Will the workshop be available? Okay, next week. Sherry Ann says, I see no lives. Stacy Carr says, I don't even bother to read. Natalie says, it's very tedious. Somebody said, I don't like to read. Laverne says she keeps scrolling. Good, so we're on the same page. This is a big no-no. This is one of the key reasons why we like to build Facebook stores, so we avoid this. Well, we kind of answered that question. You guys, we looked and see what the problem was, and you guys let me know in the chat. So here is another big problem for Facebook in the Caribbean. Facebook and Instagram do not grant e-commerce or direct payments on the platforms. So you guys might have seen last year, Facebook redid their shops. They launched the new Facebook shops. There's new Instagram shops. And one of the key features that those platforms allow you to do is direct settlement on the platform. So people can find the products, add to cart, and pay for everything without having to leave the platform. That is not available in the Caribbean. I see some people saying, well, some people are saying they can't see the slides. Let me know if you guys are seeing the slides in the chat. All right. Okay, people are seeing it. Perfect. All right. So it's not available in the Caribbean. So what we have to do is we have to kind of build a little bit of a workaround. This is what I want to show you guys tonight. So we have pretty much Facebook Stores 1.0 that allows us to list the products, but then in order for settlement or to check out, we have to check out on a third-party service. So I'm going to be showing you guys how to create the products, create your catalog, and go into some of the third-party providers that we have available to us to be able to take payments within our Facebook shop. So I got the solution for you, so don't worry. Now, here's the main thing you guys are going to need for this to work. You are going to need a Facebook business page. You will also need a product or service. All right. You will need a Facebook business page, and you're also going to need a product or service. Now, in order to be able to take credit card payments with Facebook stores for us here now this is just not limited to Trinidad. This is for anybody in the Caribbean, but we're here in Trinidad, so I'm going to show you guys an additional service that's only in Trinidad, but this is available for Caribbean wide. The service we need is something called pay links. And what a payment link is, when we go to a service provider like Figaro, Social Pay, or BuzzPay, we can go into our pay links. We can list our products. So we can say, hey, we're going to create a product called Black Soap. We can assign a value to it, and then we can generate an actual link that when you send out to people, people are going to be able to click on the link, and it pops up a payment form that people could then put in their credit card details. They can put in the amount of the product that they want, and then they could hit submit. The funds would be debited from your client's credit cards or their Visa debit cards. You would receive that money and an email notification saying, hey, Chantal has just purchased 5 black soaps. And then you'd be able to reach out to her in order to fulfill the order. But you would have already gotten her information. You would have collected the payment, and you didn't have to give her the price. She would have seen this product in your Facebook store, simply clicked on the link to make the purchase, and it's a much smoother process. And then you get to wake up to one of my favorite emails ever. And my favorite email is new order, new order, new order, new order. There is no greater feeling than you waking up at 2 o'clock in the morning to get yourself a nice, refreshing beverage, and you just happen to check your phone and you see notifications, New order, new order, new order. You've made money while you sleep. Now, here's the fun part, and I know Carrie Ann could attest to this. Carrie Ann, how many times have we shopped at 11 o'clock at night to get some Amazon deals because we're bored and lying down in bed and one click, one click buy?
Guilty. Guilty.
So having the Facebook store and having a service like Paylinks extends the hours of your business, because now people don't need to DM you for price or DM you to make a purchase. They can go to your Facebook store and place the order for the products. So people can now shop when it's most convenient to them and not whenever you are available to take their order via DM. We're trying to get away from that. If you guys are sleeping, if you don't have no mechanism to take payments and people need to DM you to transact business, that means your business is limited to whenever you are awake. At some point, you got to sleep. At some point, you got to take some time for the family. And if your phone isn't handy to respond, then you could potentially lose that sale. Let me know in the chat if you guys have seen a product that you guys liked on Instagram, DM the business to order the product, but because they took 5 hours, 6 hours, sometimes even days to respond, they lost the sale. You've seen it cheaper somewhere else, or you purchased another product, or maybe you purchased a better product. And that business that you DM lost the sale. And they respond back to you days later and they're like, yeah, okay, the product, that phone is going to be $5,000. And you're like, what? I done bought that phone for $4,500 4 days ago. Thank you, but no thank you. Let me know in the chat if that has happened for you. Hema says that's so true. She searches everywhere else for the products. Eva says many times. Brendan says taking days to respond to a client and lost a sale. Rebecca says happens all the time. It happens all the time. So I don't want to keep you guys all night. So I want to dive right into the live demonstration for tonight's workshop. And that, folks, is how do we go about setting up this Facebook shop and also taking payments. All right, here we go. So right now we are currently live inside my Facebook account. So we're going to be going over to, so again, you guys would have already created your Facebook business profile. All right. So I'm not going to go into that because that would just add more unnecessary time. So you guys would have already created your Facebook business page. So what you want to do to create the shop is click on your Facebook business profile on Facebook. And then when that loads up, we're going to be going into settings to create this Facebook shop. So you would click on settings. Now, keep in mind, folks, this is being recorded. So if you miss something, because we're going to be moving with a bit of a pace, if you miss something, this is going to be recorded so you guys can watch at a later point in time. So when you click on settings, what you're going to do is you're then going to click on templates and tabs. And you are then going to scroll down to Facebook shop and turn that on. Now, I had already had a Facebook shop and I deleted it for this purpose. If you do not see the shop, what you're going to do is at the very top, when you see templates, you're going to click on edit template. And what Facebook does is they give you a variety, depending on who you are, what your business is about. They give you a list of different types of setups for the links or the services on your Facebook business page. So if you click on something like shopping, you would see that these are the tabs that they're going to load up for you on your Facebook business page. So you want to find one that makes the most sense for your business and also one that has the shop tab. All right. So once you click on apply template, then it's going to load up the home, the events, reviews, photos, shop, and then more, right? Offers, groups. Okay. So that again is you're going to come right to the top. You're going to click on current template and you're going to click on edit. and you're going to find which one makes sense, which template makes sense for your business, but you want to make sure you have a template that includes the shopping tab. All right. Once you have the shop tab loaded, you're going to turn it on. And then what I would recommend you doing is dragging the shop to the top. That way people don't have to go far to access your shop. All right, so now we're going to go back to my business page, and we're going to see that shop has now been added right here at the top of the tabs. So when we click on shop, this is going to load up, and then we're going to start to create the products. So check out, we're going to the setup together. All right. So the first thing you're going to see is set up your shop section, the terms and conditions, letting you know that you guys can list your products for sale. You can handle deliveries, returns, disputes, and they have their service agreement for the treatment of user data. Don't really worry about the deliveries, returns, and disputes because that is not available for our market, but you can list your products, okay? So we're going to accept, we're going to hit continue. Now, this is extremely important. Pay attention to this. This part is asking you, what is the checkout method that you would want? So the very first one is asking you, do you want the call to action, that big blue button, when people see the products, do you want it to be that they DM you to purchase the products? If you guys are tuning into this workshop, it's because you do not want to be doing that. We are trying to get away from people DMing us to purchase the products. Instead, what we want to do is we want to click on the second option, which is checkout on another website. And that is where our pay-link service providers are going to come into play. So again, you want to make sure that you are selecting checkout on another website. That way, when people hit the buy now button for the product, it's going to populate a payment form. You're going to see that in action, okay? So we select that, and then you get to select what currency do you want to set your shop up. And guess what, folks? We are large and in charge. Trinidad and Tobago is in the building. Our currency is listed. So if you want to select TT dollars and have your Facebook shop in TT, you guys can select TT. And if we have any yardies in the building, I know Keron has some yardies in the building. You can select, guess what? The Jamaican dollar as well for your Facebook shop. So if you want to, how you mean? So if you want to have your Facebook shop in Jamaican dollars, if you want to have it in TT dollars, or if you want to be big and bad and you're listing in US dollars, you can go ahead and display the prices in US dollars. Now, this is just to display the prices. This doesn't mean that if you list in US, that the payment is happening to you in US. Unfortunately, the payment currency will be dictated by whichever payment link service provider you decide to go with. And we're going to get into that. So to keep it nice and simple, we are going to select TT dollars and we're going to hit save. So this is going to now load up our Facebook shop, right? So welcome to your shop. We now get to the point where we get to add some products. Listen, this is a very good feeling, okay? Where we get to list our products because you're one step closer to people being able to go somewhere, see all your products, click to buy, and you wake up to money in your bank account. All right, so let's get it started. So first and foremost, we're going to hit on add product. And then we have to fill out the information for the product. So we get to add things like our photos. We also get to add videos to be displayed in the Facebook shop. We get to put the name of the products. You get to list the price, the amount for the product. You can put whether it is on sale, put your beautiful product description, make it luxurious so people are enticed to purchase your product. And this checkout URL is going to come in handy when we get into the payment link section. All right. And then you're going to click on this button. And what that means is that whenever you create the product, it's going to share it to your business page's feed. All right. So let us create our very first product. So let's go and drag a photo. Now, the photos have to be in a particular dimension. So you can click on the recommended photo guidelines and you can read the different types of dimensions you guys can use. But the standard image size for the photos is 500 by 500. So if you guys wanted to jump into Canva and create something like that, so you know what, maybe people might not have ever heard of Canva. So let me just show you guys quickly. You guys can go to canva.com and create a free account with Canva, all right? And you guys will be able to do this. When you create the free account with Canva, you can click on create a design. Then you can click on custom size. And then for the dimensions, you're gonna put 500 by 500 and then hit create design. Now, you want to make sure your pictures look good. If you have a 10-year-old phone, please, if you're taking pictures, don't be surprised when no one is ordering the photo if the images do not look good. You want to make sure your pictures look enticing. If you are selling soap, that soap have to look good. It needs to have some shine. There needs to be some prestige to it. People must just see that photo and say, aha, that is it. That is me. That is the product I want. All right. So I'm just going to throw any picture in because right now I just want to get through this part. Right. So we want to add the image that we want for our product because we have it in the correct side. And we're going to name the image. So I'm just putting Laurel because I see that on the screen. We're then going to hit download and make sure in the file type, you download all of your images in PNG to ensure that you guys are keeping the high quality photos, right? JPEGs tend to degrade a bit of the picture, so you make sure you guys download it in PNG. All right, so now that we have our image that we sized correctly from Canva, we go back to Facebook and then we can drag and drop the image. All right. Click on use photo. All right. Now we're going to name it. So apparently I just can't stop thinking about soaps right now. So we're going to run with it. So we're going to call this the Cocoa Soap. All right. We're going to call that the Cocoa Soap. God, that just sounds, let's just put coconut. The Coconut Soap. So we're then going to put the price. So this is, this is some gourmet soap. This is some fancy soap. This is some soap that when you bathe, you feel luxurious when you come out of that shower, right? So that luxurious soap is going to run us $150 TT. What? For 1 bar of soap? Yes, for 1 bar of luxurious gourmet coconut soap from your boy Keron. All right? So you already know if you're coming by me, it's gourmet soaps that we're dealing with. So in this description, you want to make sure that your product makes your product sound enticing. All right. So let me see if my copywriting skills, are on par. So let's just say, we're going to say this soap is made with 100% authentic coconut and goat milk. Oh, people love that goat milk for their bodies. I don't know why, but apparently it's good for your skin, right? After bathing with this soap, your skin is going to glow and give you the sheen that you desire. Listen to me. If that doesn't make you want to go and buy my little gourmet soap, I don't know what will. But you get the idea. You're going to put a nice little description to make your product sound enticing, all right? So the next step is the checkout URL. And we're going to take a pause from Facebook and we're going to go check out the payment links providers. All right. So there are 3 payment links providers that we have available to us in Trinidad. One of them is only for TT, and the other 2 are available throughout the entire Caribbean region. So those 3 payment service providers are, number 1, Figaro. So that is Fygaro, Figaro. Now, you can sign up with Figaro and you'd be able to utilize their pay links option. All right. They call it payment buttons, but you would be able to list your products, it generate a link, and that link is what we would put in the checkout field. So that is one service provider. The other service provider is Buzz.tt. They are called BuzzPay. So BuzzPay offers pay links as well. So again, you'd be able to create a catalog of products, list out the prices for each of these products, and then it'll generate a link. All right. So we're looking at pay links. This is a service that you want. The third service provider that offers pay links is Social Pay. Now, Social Pay is the only one that is available in TT only. The other 2 are available throughout the Caribbean region. So if you are tuning in from another island, check to see if BuzzPay or Figaro is available for you in your country. All right. Now, personally, I'm currently using Social Pay. I set up a free account so that way we can do this demonstration. Also, BuzzPay does have a free tier. Figaro, you can make sure you go in and check out the pricing options for Figaro. BuzzPay does have a paid system as well, but they do have a free tier for the pay links, and Social Pay has the pay links are free on Social Pay. But again, this is only if you are in Trinidad and Tobago. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to log into my Social Pay account so we can get this demonstration started so you can see what a pay link looks like. So I've already created my account to speed up this demonstration. So I'm going to log in. Let me know in the chat if you guys are liking what you guys are seeing so far. If we're going good, give me some energy, give me some 100s, give me some 5s. Let me know if you guys are enjoying what you guys are seeing so far. Again, the more energy you give me, we can reciprocate it right back to you guys. All right? Perfect. So in the Social Pay backend, what we're going to be doing is we're going to click on Pay Links. All right. We're going to click on Pay Links and we're going to click on Add Link. Now, this process is pretty much the same with any one of the providers, whether it's BuzzPay, Figaro, they're all the same for how to create a pay link. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to put in the product name. So we're going to put in coconut soap. The description, you guys can put that in if you guys want to. It doesn't need to be a whole lengthy thing because your lengthy description is going to be on your Facebook shop. You don't need a lengthy description for here. So we could just put gourmet soap. And then we're going to put the value of the product. So I said my soap is expensive. It's gourmet. I'm charging $150 for it. And now we can select the currency. How do we want that currency displayed? Now, if you guys do decide to use Social Pay only processes in TT dollars. However, you can, if you want to, you can display the cost of the item in US dollars. But when it gets debited from the client's account, it would be debited in TT dollars, and TT dollars is what would show up in your bank account. With Figaro and BuzzPay, Figaro 100%, when you sign up with them, you do have the option of generating US dollars. US is an option on Figaro. BuzzPay, I'm 90% sure that BuzzPay allows you to process in US dollars as well. I'm 90% sure. Don't hold me to that. Feel free to reach out to the BuzzPay team, but they all process in TT dollars for sure. With Social Pay, you can choose whether to display the price in TT or USD, but remember, it only debits TT dollars from your clients, and TT dollars is what you would receive. So I'm going to leave it at TT dollars. Now, the fee structure, this is going to be very important, right? So the fee structure, every one of these payment gateways has relatively the same cost structure, and that is 3% per transaction. So you guys can check out Social Pay, BuzzPay, or Figaro and go into their fees and see how much they charge per transaction, but they are all roughly at that 3% per transaction mark. All right. So you can decide if you want to take on that cost or if you want to pass that cost over to the client. Now, because we're into customer service, I don't like to pass over fees to my clients. What I would rather do is ensure that I kind of work the fees to do business into my pricing, right? It's a cost of doing business. So if I know that my credit card transaction company or payment gateway, if they charge 3% per transaction, I want to make sure that my cost covers me for that. So I don't have to pass it over to my clients. Most people don't like to see, okay, the cost is $150 for the item. Then when they get to checkout, where did this additional 3% come from? That could cost you the sale. So just make sure you guys kind of work it in. That's a really good customer service tip. So I'm going to select that I will pay that fee. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to set up a simple payment type. I won't set up a subscription. We are going to save subscriptions for another workshop, but subscriptions is what it is. If you want to be able to set up subscription services so we can get monthly recurring income, we can definitely do that, but we're going to get into that in another workshop. For now, we're going to stick to selling a simple product so people can just purchase it, and that is that. All right. Now, again, the custom access link, you guys do not need to worry about it, because if you're watching this, chances are you do not have a website. This is just for you to use on Facebook. So you do not need to fill in anything for the custom access link to redirect anybody anywhere else. All right. So we're going to hit submit. Now, watch for the magic. Watch what happens after we've put in that information. We get a link for the product. So what we're then going to do is we're going to copy the link for that product. And then we're going to go back to Facebook, and the checkout URL, we are then going to paste the checkout URL. We're going to paste the pay link into the checkout URL. All right. Again, because you guys would have established your Facebook business, you guys want to make sure that you guys are sharing this product to your page. Because this is a demo for me on my actual business page, I'm not going to share this to my page. But you also want to make sure that the visibility is public. That way anybody can come to your shop and see it. And then you also can select the condition of the product. All right. Is it refurbished? Is it used? And then what level of used is it? So we want to make sure that we select new if it is new. After that, we hit add product. And I want you guys to see what happens next. So now when somebody comes to our page, so let's just say somebody decided to find me on Facebook. They came to my page. What they're going to see is they're going to see this. They're going to see our first profile, our feed, everything else. Look, it's Keron, beautiful. Hey, we're there, we're live. What we're going to do is at the very top, your clients are now going to be able to click on the shop tab. When they click on the shop tab, check this out, folks. People are now going to see the products that you have. All right. So when they click on the product, guess what happens, folks? Your pictures are going to come up. If you have videos, the videos are going to play. On the right-hand side under details, you're going to have the product description. But most importantly, at the bottom right-hand corner, you're going to see checkout on website. You are then going to hit checkout and watch what happens. That pay link that we created now pops up with a payment form. Your clients can put in their first name, their last name, their email address, and their contact number. They can specify what the quantity that they want to buy is, right? So let's just say if I put in my name, bam, 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 and I want to buy 5 of these gourmet soaps, and then I hit pay the $750, right? Because remember, it's in TT dollars. When we hit pay with $750, this is what is going to happen. The next screen is now where your client can put in their credit card details. And this is where when your client puts this information in, the money is going to be debited from their credit card, from either their Visa debit card or their credit card. You would then receive an email that says, hey, your customer has purchased 5 of them gourmet soaps. You have $750 in your bank account, right? And that is how your client would be able to order from you on Facebook. So let me show you something else. So we're just going to close. We're just going to X that off. Let me show you something else. So let's say we have multiple products. There are different types of products. What we are able to do is we can now create something called a collection. So if we go to add collection, we can now say we can organize our shop by either brands or types of products. So because I have a soap product, if this decides to load, because I have a soap product, I'm going to a category called soaps. And silly me, because I was impatient, I clicked refresh and it was just about to load up. So we'll give it a second. We'll let that load up. Let me know in the chat, guys. How are we feeling? How is this looking for you guys? I see we've been a little bit silent. Let me know in the chat. Are you guys anxious to start to create your Facebook shop? Let me know in the chat if you guys are ready to get started creating your shop. Elizabeth says, mind is blown. Mind is blown. Going really good. Excellent. Going to transform my page tonight. Amazing. Beautiful. Listen. UTC, Urpreneur. I think we were on to something with tonight's workshop. So what we're going to do is with collections, right? You can specify if you want to add your product to the featured selection, or you guys can click on add collection. And then you're going to be able to create a collection name. So I'm going to call this one soaps. All right. And I'm going to hit save. And I can also add my coconut soap one time to the soap collection. So when I hit save, now when people go to the store, they're going to be able to go to my soap collection. So if we go back to the page, if you go back to my Facebook store, check this out, folks. So this is going to load up. All right. We're going to go to shop. When we click on shop, we are now going to see a soaps category. So here we go. We have a soaps category. So you can create soaps. You could create bath gels, air fresheners, linens, whatever. You could create there's an endless amount of categories that you guys will be able to create. And then you can now organize all of your products into the categories. That way, when somebody comes to your site, they can say, oh, there's a soap section. Let me scroll through all of the soaps. Oh, there's a clothing section. Let me scroll through all of the clothes. All right. That way your store is nice and organized. But here's the best part, folks. There's two more things I want to show you here. Your clients will be able to search for products. So if they are looking for a particular product, right, they can go to the search bar and search through your store. So if you're somebody that has, 500 products in your Facebook store, the person can now search through your store, just typing in what they want, and it will display all the products that come up with that particular name. And on top of that, you also get a link to your store. You get a link to your Facebook store. So you can click on Share Collection, and this would now generate the link to your Facebook store specifically. So when people are messaging you on WhatsApp or they're messaging you on any platform, you can now send them the link. Oh, where'd it go? Hold on. You're going to be able to send them the link to your store, and they'll be able to go to the shop. And that way, when they click on it, it will load up all of your products. All right. So the easiest way to quickly grab it is if you actually see in the URL bar, you'll see Facebook, you'll see the name of my business, and you'll see shop. Once people have that, you can send that link to them. And that way, once they click on it, it just goes directly to your store where people can see all of your products. And once you have all of your products listed, again, if you have integrated it with pay links, people will be able to see it and also pay for the products right on Facebook. They don't have to, DM you for the price. Maybe if they have questions about it, they could definitely send you a DM. But however, somebody can now come to my store at 2:00 in the morning, when the best shopping apparently happens during the nighttime hours. Somebody can now come to your Facebook store, go through your shop, look at the products, click on the products, see the one that they want. They can go click on checkout. They can click on checkout. The payment link populates. The beautiful thing about pay links is that pay links are open. They do not, it's different than what is called a digital invoice. So let's just say if somebody were to send you a digital invoice is one-time use. After they send you that digital invoice, once it's paid, the invoice no longer exists. But with the pay link, it's open. It does not close after somebody has made a payment. So anybody can come. You just need to create that one payment, that one pay link, and anybody can come to your platform and order as many products as you want, and they can pay you with credit card. All right. Now, we wanted to keep this kind of short to the point. I think I've hit my 45-minute mark. I got through the most important details about this shop. So I think, Carrie Ann, Candice, Akila, I think we can go to the Q&A session from now.
Yeah, thanks so much for that, Karen. Definitely, we can switch over. We have quite a few questions, so buckle up. You're going to be here for a minute.
Oh my goodness, 35 questions.
Yeah.
All right.
Do you want to go through them? Go through them yourself, or do you want me to read them through for you?
Let's read through it so we can get some interaction going. So it's not just me just talking, blabbing on.
All right, sure, perfect. Okay. Well, someone asked, the first question is from Catherine, and she asked, can you add a link to your Facebook shop on your posts on Instagram?
Oh, okay, Akil. Hold. Let me ask you.
You take that away, Karen.
No, I gotta ask you. Do we let the cat out the bag now, or do we wait till later for that question?
No, I think you could let it out.
I said let the cat out.
I'm completely fine with that.
Let the cat out the bag. All right, no problem. So, folks, we have another session coming up next week. That is going to be on how to create an Instagram shop and integrate pay links. So I would not use my Facebook store over on LinkedIn. I mean, there's nothing stopping you from that. You can most definitely do that. And I think, you know what? If you have a ton of products, then you could definitely do that. You could link to your Facebook store and people can come over here. It'd be no difference. But because the beautiful thing is that Facebook allows you to have pretty much unlimited products, and you can categorize them. If you are somebody that only has a couple products, let's just say you have like less than 10 products, then I would definitely say check out what we're gonna do next week with Instagram. You might like that setup more than going through this on Facebook, but there is nothing stopping you from creating the Facebook shop and using the Facebook shop link and putting that over on Instagram. Nothing stopping you. You can most definitely do that. All it's going to do is redirect the person to your Facebook store. So yeah, that works.
Yeah, someone else asked a really good question here. It
Mhm.
sounds like a simple question, but there are so many layers to it, right?
Mhm.
So Candice Barrow, she asked, so it's either a website or a shop. Now, we know there are a lot of ways to connect the catalogs, etc. So
Yes.
I don't know how deep you want to go with that one, but that's basically your
So
workshop in
that's a
itself.
that's a great question, and Candice knows what she's doing. Candice knows what she's doing. Let me show you guys something, right? So here is a setup that I have from my store. So my store, Droid Island, has this setup. So when people come over to Droid Island, people will be able to click on my shop and look at this. Check this out, folks. So I actually have my website, droidislandtt.com. I have my website connected directly to my Facebook shop. So Facebook pulls all of the products directly from my website. And I have like over 1,000 products in my store. It pulls all of the products from my website. So I do not have to manually upload them into Facebook. And then when somebody wants to purchase something, they can click on the product. They can get all of the information about the product here. And then when they click on checkout on website, it would bring them directly to the page for them to now select which, if there's variations, because there's different sizes, different colors for the product, people would then be able to select which product they want. And then they can get the prices. They can get the price for the product, and then they can go through my website, add to cart, purchase on the website. So that's one way. Now for Candice, what I would say is I know Candice has a website. So this would be something that you, Candice, would be interested in, where you can take your website, because I know how it's built. You have it built with WordPress. We can now integrate that website into our Facebook shop so it automatically pulls so you don't have to do double work. All right. For everybody else, if they do not have a website, you do not need to worry about what I just showed you. But if you do have a website, you can connect it to your Facebook shop and it just pull all of the products from your website. Akil.
Yeah, and I just want to append to that, Karen,
Mhm.
that we do intend to take you all the way through, right? We're not gonna stop and leave you there hanging. We do know that there are layers to this, uh,
Yes.
and we are working to do well. Karen kind of let the cat out of the bag there, but we are working to do a series of these workshops to really help entrepreneurs accelerate their progress. Um, there's another one from an anonymous attendee asking, can I change an existing Facebook page into a business page?
Um, well, you wouldn't be able to change it because you just create another one. So, um, if you already have if you already have a Facebook business page and you want to change the name, you can by all means go in and change the name. But you would be creating a new business page that connects to your Facebook account. So it's separate from your personal Facebook page.
Yeah, I'm wondering if the person was asking, so Facebook profile, I guess, because when we use the word page, we would tend to refer to business pages. So if you mean to change like a Facebook page that doesn't have the shops option, you would have to just change the type of template that it has to get one that does have the shop option. As when you play back the video that we are going to provide to you, you'll be able to see. Um, but yeah, so what Karen said before in terms of converting your profile to a page is exactly what would
They're
happen now.
probably thinking Instagram, where Instagram you actually have to change it from a personal to a business page, but with Facebook it's separate.
Yeah. I mean, long ago, people used to do that, and end up with 5,000 fans off the bat.
Yeah.
There's another from Samantha. Uh, does it accept debit card payments as well?
So that is tricky, right? Because that depends on the institution that you have the Visa debit card with. So, for example, if you have a Visa debit card from an institution that has not turned on the online payments on the card, then it would not work. But for the most part, I think for the most part, I think every institution at this point in time has turned on the online payments for local e-commerce so that you'd be able to use your Visa debit card. And I don't have mine handy, but um, all the institutions that I can think of that are giving out the Links Visa debit cards right now have turned it on for local e-commerce, meaning if your shop is being debited in TT dollars, then those local cards will work. If the shop, however, is transacting in US dollars, then those Visa debit cards will not work. I think I didn't want to say their name. No, I won't say their name, but only one company with a Visa debit card has international payments turned on. The rest of them, it's only available for local e-commerce.
All right, so we have a statement here from Candace. Uh, I don't want to mess up your last name, Candace, so I'll stick with the first name, but it's an interesting thought. She asked, we have a high degree of fraud, and I don't see online payments working unless it's repeat customers or friends. And basically, what are your thoughts?
So I mean that's it's definitely a statement that you have to take into consideration. Now the beautiful thing is I would definitely recommend when you get a chance, jump on a platform like First Atlantic Commerce because most of the payment gateways in Trinidad and Tobago use First Atlantic Commerce to process the payments. And First Atlantic Commerce specializes in security. I know that the majority of the money that they spend in their R&D is on security features to block a lot of the fraud and stop you from getting chargebacks so that you don't lose out on your money. But again, I'm not the security expert, so I would definitely say you could jump on First Atlantic Commerce. They have a whole section on security features to protect you from being a victim of fraud. If you have a store and somebody's trying to defraud you, you could check out to see what security features they have because, like I said, the majority of the service providers using the pay links work with First Atlantic Commerce.
Yeah, and I think that's a perfect perspective, and it goes from payments to remittance, just for a lot of the providers across the region, really. Another thing to just take into consideration is that, your business does have to step forward into this realm at some point, you know, uh, and there is an element of risk associated with online payments across the world, that we have all had to manage and accept to some degree. Uh, but as
Correct.
Karen alluded to there, you definitely have a pretty solid backing as far as First Atlantic is concerned. They have been doing this for a long time. All that we're seeing now is that a lot of providers are making it a lot more easy and friction free for
Correct.
persons like us, the small to the micro to medium entrepreneur to be able to set these up. So I want to jump to another question. Now we have a lot
Yeah.
of questions and are really trying to take as many as we can.
All right.
But if I do skip a question, it would be because it's similar to another one, or you'd at least try to send you a response uh, afterward because we're now at 7, right? And
Yeah.
so that means we've been here for an hour, right? How do you add a delivery fee? This is from Maria Thomas.
So you could add a delivery fee just by adding it into the price. So for example, for me, my courier company charges $40 to ship anywhere within Trinidad and Tobago. So what I would do is if I'm selling my soap at 150, I would put my price at 190 and let people know in the description that the delivery fee is included within the price, or you could let people know that the cost of the product is 150 and the delivery fee is $40. That way, that way they could see it's just one price. Or put it up to 190 and let people know that delivery is free. You would really be in control with how you go about communicating that message. But the simplest way, honestly, just add it to the cost of the price. That way, people when they come, they pay one payment. You would have received the money for the product, the money for shipping, and then you ship out to your clientele.
All right. So I see quite a few questions around this particular topic. All right. And that is, how does social pay link to my bank account? I see questions from YouTube as well around this.
So perfect. So every one of the service providers, from Figaro to BuzzPay to SocialPay, when you are filling out your profile, you have to enter in your bank details. So all of those companies deposit the funds directly to your bank account. Each of them have different pay schedules that they send the money out to you. But when you are filling out your profile, it will ask you to put in your bank details so that the money can be forwarded to your bank account.
Okay. And a follow-up to that uh, would be, how are refund requests handled?
Right. So the refunds now are going to be a manual process. So somebody is going to reach out to you to say, "Hey, we don't like the product. We want to refund them. We want to refund. We want to refund. We want a refund on the product." And then you would have to organize how you were sending that money back. Whether that could be through an online bank transfer, that could be if you need to go and meet the person to collect, you pay back with cash. But essentially, your two options are going to be online bank transfer to the person, or if you're meeting the person to collect, you'd be able to meet up with them and exchange a cash. And I think there are some couriers that offer that as a service where they would go and collect the item and also give back the person the money on your behalf as well.
From the same person, manage stock using this method, basically meaning, they run the risk of people purchasing something that became out of stock 3 purchases ago. And we know this is quite popular, with local e-commerce.
Yeah, so most definitely, you are going to have to take a lot of control, right? This is a simple setup so that you can get started if you do not have a website and you do not have a point of sale system. Because if you had a point of sale system, if you had a website, if you all of these additional services would allow you to now put how many products and stuff that you would have. So what you can do is, if you know that you are running low on a particular supply, then you have to jump in onto your pay links and remove that pay link. Cut it out. You could stop it. That way nobody has the opportunity to put it to purchase it. Or the easiest thing to do would be, you could go back into your Facebook shop, and when you click on the editing of the settings, you could just change the status from public to unlisted. That way nobody has the option to make that payment, but you don't break that payment collect the pay link connection. So that'd be the easiest thing I would do. Go into your Facebook shop, change the visibility from public and make it unlisted. That way nobody sees it and can purchase it.
Okay, we have another question here that is a bit more specific to the platform, well, to
Mhm.
Facebook really. Is there an add to cart feature so that multiple items can be paid for once rather than paying for separate items?
No. So Paylinks is completely separate and apart from a platform that allows you to add to cart. If you want add to cart, you're essentially going to build out a website. That way you're able to have the add to cart feature. Paylinks is just you being able to assign a value to a product, and that person can purchase that one specific product, right? So again, remember why we're doing this. If you do not have a website, if you are somebody that has a website, then with your e-commerce integrated into your website, you have the ability to add to cart. If you are somebody that does not have a website, but you at least have Facebook and you want to be able to take payments for products, Pay links does not give you the option to add to cart because it's pay links and your e-commerce integrations for your website are two totally different services. Pay links are just going to assign a value to that one specific product that you would be able to now put into your shop. That way you guys can sell online through Facebook.
So I know you didn't delve into the subscription side of it.
Mhm.
There's a question from Isaiah. With regards to the subscription form of payment
Mhm.
on the external payment sites, would you recommend setting up membership payment services using this option and using Facebook as a platform in general for these type of payments?
Yeah, any which way you want, because you could have it. You could put up a recurring subscription on Facebook. So let's just say if you set up a service where you're giving out um, 5 soaps per month to the person, they have the option to subscribe to that service right from Facebook. They can definitely do that if they want to, right? All depends on how you want to set it up. If you don't want to use Facebook for subscriptions and you want people to DM you, then you could send them a separate pay link with a subscription service. The good thing is that all of the companies mentioned, Figaro, BuzzPay, SocialPay, all of them do subscriptions. You can send that person the link, and once they fill out the information, you would be able to set up the schedule as to when that person gets debited, how many times they get debited, and you could do that through a DM conversation with your specific client.
Okay,
You want to go
Keron,
for
I want to
like?
do something here
Go
because
ahead. I know
yeah,
this is not going
yeah,
to end
I'll
anytime soon.
probably field a few more.
Right.
No, that's all right. I think we could probably take it up to about 7:10, 7:15 latest.
All
But I
right.
just want to share something. So, to thank everyone, first of all, for joining, because I know some persons are jumping off because they probably aren't able to stay on too long. You should be seeing, let me just replace the spotlight here. All right, a link on screen. Now, just to give you a sense as to what Urpreneur is, right? It's more than a video series, as you'd have noticed now, and it's more than a workshop, even though those are the first two things that we would have done. But we're actually building a community where you can connect, where you can learn, where you can share, right, with other like-minded persons, and content like this will be provided within that community. So what you can do is head over to urpreneur.com after this, right? And a lot of these questions we'll be able to answer within the forums, etc., give you more information, and even set up, subsequent workshops to tackle some of these. So you can see on screen as we take you through, how to set up your catalogs, etc. Some of these very, very pertinent questions that were posed here, but that can be quite difficult to answer in a short time frame. Okay, so I'm gonna leave that up on my screen for now. Well, let me take you back just add the spotlight for Keron as he answers a few more questions. We can take about 5 more, you think?
Yeah, that works for me.
Oh, and Keron is gonna be on that community as well, so you'll have access to him.
For sure.
Okay, there's a question from Ashley. Can you have one link for all products instead of separate links?
No, it's one link per product. So each of your products would have its own separate link. Again, that's just how that's how pay links work. So each product needs its own payment link.
There's a question from Lisa. She asks, if it's a repeat client, do they have to input their details all over again? Or is there a place for analytics on your customers?
So for repeat customers, yes, you would have to put in the information again. And you know what? And this might be a great subsequent workshop where we teach people, the benefits of having a website, because a lot of the services that people are asking about is what your website and the back end of your website that's exactly what it's for. Pay links is for those people who do not have a website. They have no point of sale system. And they just need to be able to list a product on social media, send out a link to be able to take that payment. This method that I'm showing you is something that we can now combine. That way, at least people can see the product on your Facebook page, hit the link, and get you guys paid. And that could be, that could be a temporary fix for some of you. If you are looking to get into a website, but maybe you need the capital to invest in the website, or again, you're in the process of getting a website, but the website might, be down the line a month, 2 months. This could at least be a temporary fix where you guys can create the products, create each of the links, take those payments, and then when people, when you get your website launched, then you could get into a lot of these other services that your website offers you as a benefit.
Okay, that's perfect. I see a question here, but this is more a question for Karian and the UTC team, really. Can this be linked to a UTC account or only bank account? Right. The short answer is we will definitely look into it, right, to make that happen. But that's a great question from you, Laverne.
Well, you guys have another option that you guys could use. So you might want to touch on that. You have a wonderful partnership with one of our guys.
Yes, we are
Yeah,
ironing details of that as we speak.
all right. So I always say no more.
I know. Hint 1,000.
Yeah. Akila's sifting through.
Akila, you're muted.
Yeah, I was basically saying that a lot of them may have been answered already, because the questions may have been sent just about 20 minutes ago, some of them. Can the Facebook shop be linked to the Instagram shop? Tune in next week. Let me see. Yeah, I would definitely say that most of these have been answered. A lot of persons have asked, though, in terms of the sharing of the slides, the video that was done. That link that we shared within the chat, or that you can see on my screen right now, is where you'll be able to go, just sign up, join the community, and you'll be able to get access to all of this and more, right? And as I mentioned, Keron will be a part of that community, some members from our team, and other entrepreneurs that you'll be really able to connect with and take some insights and some new tools, some new methods out of. Someone asked, can these pay links be used inside web pages or landing pages as well? And when we receive payments, which local banks integrate with them? So that's from Marcia.
So very good question. So yes, it's a link. So you could put that link anywhere you want. So let's just say you are doing a live stream right now. I could create a donation link right now, and I could pin that to the chat right here in Zoom and pin it to the top. You guys can click on it and make a donation, right? It's a link. So you can use that. It's flexible. You could put that anywhere that links are accepted. Whether that's landing page, whether that is in live streams, you'll be able to paste that anywhere. And what was the second part of the last question? What was the second half of it?
The second half was around the banking and just the receipt of payments.
Right.
Yeah.
So all of these service providers connect to pretty much all of the major banks here in Trinidad and Tobago. And then if you're working with BuzzPay or Figaro and you're not in Trinidad, you can contact them to see if they integrate with your local bank. But all three of them pretty much integrate with all of our banks here in TNT.
There's a question from Leonard. What about using a drop shipping company?
So, I mean, you could. There's nothing stopping you. Again, Paylinks is just really for you to be able to accept payments. That doesn't it's not really connected to a drop shipping company. If you wanted to have an integration, let's just say you wanted to work directly with AliExpress and you wanted that direct integration with AliExpress, you would have to use something like a Shopify. You could even use WordPress, and you can connect the back end of your website directly to AliExpress, but that's a whole nother conversation. In a situation like this, you can put up the product, you can take the payment for the product, and as long as you're communicating to people, hey, the product will be delivered to you in 2 to 3 weeks, then you can just reach out to whatever platform that you're purchasing the product from, place the order, and then you organize getting it shipped directly to the customer. So you could do drop shipping just like that.
Yeah, and I think that answers quite a few questions in terms of persons asking about, the cataloging side of things and, connecting to other e-commerce platforms. We're now at 7:16. We've tapped Keron's voice for quite some time. So again, I wanted to thank you all for tuning in, and I'm just going to turn you over to Keron.
Well, guys, what can I say? We promised you a workshop and we delivered. And based on the feedback, I see people saying that they learned a lot. It was worth it. It was informative. I don't know, any other adjectives you guys want to drop in the chat?
We need some flames. We need some 100s.
Yes, like I learned a lot as well, because even though, we're helping to create this ecosystem for entrepreneurs, I'm not a veteran entrepreneur. And so this workshop was really interesting for me as well. So it's almost like I want to get down in my Jamaican lingo and be like, boom, that's how I feel. That's how excited I feel. So guys, really look out for the upcoming workshops. It's a series of workshops. And I'm hoping to see you guys tune in next week and the week after as we brace some of the topics that entrepreneurs ask us frequently. So if you have suggestions as well in terms of things you want us to cover, feel free to send us a message, on Facebook or on Instagram or any of our platforms. So we are here to really serve you and to help your business grow, or to help you start a business if you don't have one already. So guys, great meeting, great session. Keron, you're a boss. Thank you, Akil and Candice, for organizing this. It was amazing. Guys, enjoy the rest of your night and take care.
I just want to say before we close out, if you guys can spotlight that for me, if you guys want to reach out to me, you guys can reach out to me on social media. I am Keron Rose everywhere. My email address is info@keronrose.com. My website, keronrose.com, where I share a lot of tips and tricks to building your business online, how to get paid online, and building your digital presence online within the Caribbean. Thank you guys for tuning in. This was definitely great. Can't wait to see you guys next week.
All right. That's it. Take care, everyone. Be safe. Hoping to see you guys subscribe to the Urpreneur show. And we're hoping to see you on www.yourpreneur.com or on the hub. So yeah, guys, you're going to be an important part of the community. So log on. Keron, I see you smiling like please puss, because you nailed it. You did an awesome job.
No, this was bad. Are we still live?
Yes, of course.
Oh, yes. This was fun. I had a lot of fun. I just seen some of the comments, and I just looking at the comments.